What's up? So here's some pickups. Since the last pickups video, this is going to be my end of the year bangers pickups video. I managed to grab some heavy hitters that I've been looking for for a while, and yeah, I don't know. Let's just get started. So I've been going back to the PSP lately because as other things are getting more expensive, the PSP has just been like so very cheap. And so a few years ago I thought I'd done a pretty big deep dive into the PSP, but apparently I missed quite a few games that I thought were interesting. So this first one's called Infected, and it's basically just like an action game, and you get assigned missions, and in the missions they're basically just kill all the zombies. But you can kill them in a lot of interesting ways and stuff. And then it's kind of like an arcade shooter. So the more you kill them in like the more spectacular fashion that you kill them, the more points you get, and then you get money and bonuses and stuff at the end of a mission. And then from there you can buy like new weapons to take. Actually, you can buy upgrades for yourself and your weapons to then go into the later missions and keep killing zombies. This game just seemed like it was really cool, and then like I said, it's really cheap. This case is super sticky, so I have it in a box protector so it's not like touching other stuff until I can find a new case for it. Okay, the next one up is going to be another PSP game. This one's called Bounty Hounds. This is an action RPG, and this game has a really cool look to it. It has like the combat in it is kind of repetitive, but the art style of this game is really cool. The way that the story is told is through kind of like comic book style cells, and they look really cool. This kind of looks like a futuristic Final Fantasy 12 if I had to compare it to something. And I just like when I started looking at gameplay of this game, I thought it was really cool and I wanted to try it out. And so I did. And so here we go. Okay, so after that, we'll get into some DS games. First one up is going to be Emergency Disaster Rescue Squad. This game is an RTS game, actually, where instead of like waging war against some enemy, you actually have a bunch of like EMS members where you, instead of assigning them to pick up resources and attack different enemies or build stuff, you assign them to take care of different disasters that are happening in the stage that you're in. And yeah, you just play it like a normal kind of RTS game. It seemed like it was a really cool concept, and like I said, just a game that I apparently missed at some point when my deep dive into DS. The next one up is going to be a game called Animal Boxing. For this game, imagine Punch Out meets, I guess, anthropomorphic animals. So instead of fighting like random characters like you would in Punch Out, you fight different kinds of animals. This game, the concept is really cool, and if you just want to play a boxing game to just kind of kill some time, it's kind of cool. And then the other thing is like the combat here. You actually have to turn your DS upside down so that the touchscreen is on the top, and then you use the stylus or your finger to throw your punches at your enemy, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, it also has a character customization thing, and there's kind of a decent amount of customization that you can do for your character, given that this is a DS game. But it's basically a boxing game. It doesn't have the charm of Punch Out, I don't think. Like, it's definitely not as memorable as Punch Out, but it is a weird game, and it's on the DS, and yeah, I thought it's kind of cool. And the next one up is going to be Snowboard Kids for the Nintendo DS. This is going to be basically the same thing as Snowboard Kids on the N64, except I didn't know that Snowboard Kids on the DS existed. This game, I think, plays better than Snowboard Kids on the N64. I think the DS and then obviously the 3DS were actually like better hardware than the N64, so this game plays smoother and it looks nicer and it's just got I think a cooler feel to it. And if you've never played this game, imagine 1080 snowboarding or like any kind of snowboarding game meets Mario Kart, and you can pick up different items as you're racing down the hill, and then you can attack your opponents as you're all going down the hill. And it's kind of a cool game, kind of a cool concept. Again, I don't know if people just aren't really buying DS games outside of the really well-known games that have kind of been hyped up as rare or collectible, but Snowboard Kids on the DS, not an expensive game. The next one up is going to be this game called Pray the Stars. This game, all right, we're gonna have to stretch our imagination here for me to be able to kind of explain what this game might look like, because it's kind of hard to see little thumbnails there. But imagine Katamari meets Cubivore meets Hungry Hungry Hippos meets Mario Kart. So like, there's a board that you and like computer enemies end up on, and then there's stuff on the board for you to eat, and then you're all running around trying to eat stuff, and then there's different items that you can get and then attack your opponents, and then you're just trying to eat more than everybody else. And like I said, it's just kind of like all these random mashed up games meet one, and it's just a weird DS game. Like, this is easily one of the weirdest DS games that I now have in my collection, and I never knew this game existed. And when I saw, like, I actually randomly saw this cover art, and then I was like, wait, what is this? And then I started watching gameplay of it, and I was like, I must have it. And so, yeah, I ended up finding a copy of this for a good price and grabbed it. Okay, next one up, The Wild West. This one is actually a pretty cool run and gun shooter. It has kind of, if you've played, I'm trying to think of like what's a good one to compare it to. If you played like Jackal on the NES, it's like the first one that comes to mind, where it's like you're moving from the bottom, like the camera is scrolling from the bottom of the screen and then moving up, and then you're just kind of running around the screen and you can shoot at different things on the screen. It's basically like that. But there's also sections of this game that play like wild guns, where it's kind of like a fixed area, and then you can just like run side to side and like jump behind cover and then shoot around stuff and shoot at different enemies at farther positions into the screen from you. If I'm like doing this description any justice, it seems like it's a really interesting game. I won't say this is an amazing game. It is definitely a budget title, but this is kind of a lesser known shooter on the DS, I think, and I think it's kind of cool. So it's got a lot going for it if you're willing to give it a chance, I think. Okay, the last DS game that we have here is definitely going to be a hard hitter. This is what I think is a legitimately rare DS game that basically has gotten no coverage. And so, this might be the first time a lot of you have heard of this game, but this is a game that I've been looking for a very long time. And then the few copies that I've seen over the years have only been cart only or just been like stupid expensive. But I happened to find this game at a good price and I jumped on it immediately. But it's going to be this game called Sideswiped, and this is an arcade racing game that has like a really cool look to it. And as the name implies, like, you can sideswipe the other cars that you're racing against. And when you sideswipe other cars, you end up causing these huge pileups, and the models have like real time damage done to them. And so you'll see your car like deforming in real time as you're hitting other cars. And then sometimes you'll get like really cool, like slow down, slow mo cutscenes of an accident that you caused. And then there's like all these like really cool explosions that happen. Like, this is legitimately a fun game if you like arcade racing games. And like I said, this is actually a rare game on the DS where it just hasn't gotten a lot of coverage. And so I think it's kind of cool that this game has gone this long without it being kind of blown up. So I was able to take my time and try to find this game without a whole lot of competition. For when I found it at a good price, I was like, okay, well, now I can just get this game, thank God, because it's been sitting here for a while. But yeah, it was really cool. This one was one of the ones that I was very happy to find. Like I said, I've been looking for it for a long time. And so the last game here is going to be kind of the same story. Haven't been looking for this game as long, but this is what I also think is going to be a legitimately rare Nintendo Switch game. But rare in the sense that the Switch is multi-region, of course, so you can play games from different regions. And then this game only released in one region, and in that region, it's still kind of a hard to find game. So the game is going to be Beast Quest for the Nintendo Switch. Oh my God. And you can buy this game on the PS4 or the Xbox One or for like $15 or less brand new. But you can't buy this game on the Nintendo Switch in North America because it didn't release on the Nintendo Switch in North America. This was a game that I had on my radar. Like, I bought it on the PS4 like this game is a game that's inspired by The Legend of Zelda, so it's like an action adventure game. And so I kind of wanted to get this to begin with. And like before anyone says anything, if you're a big Beast Quest nerd, like Beast Quest is based on a book series, I guess that's pretty long running. I don't know anything about the book series. I don't really care about the book series, but like visually and for the game, it's very clearly inspired by The Legend of Zelda. But yeah, like anyways, super excited to get the copy of that game since the last pickups video. And yeah, that's my bangers pickups video to end this year out with. But anyways, I hope everybody's having a great week. I hope you're gonna have a great weekend coming up and that you have some fun stuff planned. And until the next time, peace.